Kia ora everyone, with the brand new Fantastic Four movie finally releasing in cinemas and Doctor Doom's threat being imminent, plus we have brand new LEGO Spiderman playsets releasing in August, while everything was just lining up perfectly to justify looking at this classic release for the theme. This here is set 76005, the Daily Bugle Showdown, which released in January of 2013 as part of the second released wave of the LEGO Marvel Superheroes line. Now this playset here predates the other amazing LEGO Daily Bugle set that we all know and love. This here is more in line with a kids toy release and something that I was missing for this modern era. You've got 476 pieces in total with 5 minifigures, 4 of them being unique and exclusive to this set. This retailed back in the day for just $50 USD before tax, and I remember it being a flat $100 NZD here at release, which annoyed me because the Australian price was only $70. Pretty brutal between us and them for their prices, considering our currency is pretty much the same. Australia used to have things so much better. Today in the aftermarket space, $281 NZD sealed, yeesh, or $161 NZD in second-hand condition. Good lord. I believe I got mine about 4 or 5 years ago now for just under 100 NZD, and stop me if you've heard this before, the second-hand seller forgot to mention 1 or 2 things that really should have dropped that price down lower for me, if you ask me personally. The set overview here is the Daily Bugle building, originally for the first time ever as a LEGO set in the more accepted play scale type of release. It's a very cool though maybe dated build that's a bit tricky in comparison to the hefty release from the future. This set release being based on the cartoon series Ultimate Spider-Man, which actually had a few LEGO sets and some of which have been covered on this channel already. The set here breaks up into a building and some side extras, the first things we'll be taking a look at right now. We have builds of a street lamp, a garbage bin, and a jet vehicle for Doctor Doom. And what more do you want me to say about the street light? Here it is, it's a light. Something that actually bothered me with this release is the little amount of room on offer to display these extras. They don't really fit on the display here, even moving it to the back on the other side it doesn't really work. Very tragic, so you have to have them off to the side. I have them slightly hanging over instead, otherwise it truly feels like a rather nothing inclusion. This dumpster is interesting, it's very simple for the build, and we have covered a few dumpster builds on here in the past. This one here feels pretty close to being unfinished though. There's also nothing inside here besides this grey plate, located at the back, and you can move it up and down. It's meant to be a launcher for your minifigures disguised as a dumpster. Yeah, it's okay, I don't have any strong feelings for this one though. It's a tougher gimmick to pull off since the interactive space is smaller here, but I do like these types of inclusions in sets regardless. Again, the build is a little weird to have displayed on the set though. Having it hung over the edge there though, it makes the scene feel a bit more complete to me, which I do really like, a full package kind of release. The jet here acts as the villain's weapon to go up against the building. It's a very 2010s LEGO build, and it pretty much feels like something that would fit in line with any of the other action-based themes releasing back then. From the color scheme to the engine pieces, the whole thing just feels like an unnecessary inclusion to bump up the piece count. Some highlights for this thing, you've got some sticker designs of the logo there by the engine parts. It's his jet alright. The inside cockpit there features a seated space for our minifig. It's also built to be an area to lay down so that you won't damage his cape too much. The engines here feature their own movements on Technic pegs, but the real inclusion there is the grapple hook located at the back. It's sitting in place connected to a string, and it features some Doc Ock-like arms for grabbing. They can wrap around, say, a minifigure like so, and Doctor Doom can just kind of drag them around or something. I think it makes the build somewhat unique for this line. I don't know many other releases that feature this type of an inclusion, but otherwise, it's a fairly generic vehicle inclusion for a set that really didn't need to have anything other than the main build. As for the main build, those of you who are used to the modern LEGO sets might think that there's something wrong here, especially with the interior space, but this is very much in line with the history of the company. And so much so, it feels like that brand new overpriced Oscorp tower set is going to be mimicking this old style, which I honestly really appreciate. The issue there though is that ideally simplifying the design should make the sets cheaper and more affordable. More discussion on that set if I eventually get it. This building here is a pretty thin build. It's about 9 centimeters deep, which is the real issue for collectors. Height wise you're looking at 36 centimeters and it's 19 centimeters wide. Those measurements kind of work for me, it's just the inside details that's an issue. We start out with the lobby section here, which features a tiny sign of the DBC, which had me wondering why the sudden minimalist design. The middle floor there is basically like the main work area, and then the top floor is the best floor, featuring an office, and the outside there showing a bunch of TV screens that are currently airing the news. A mention on the blue windows, I love it. Blue windows used for toys just makes a lot of sense to me. It feels animated and comic-like, and it's always been my preferred style. I also really love the tan coloring here of the building. Definitely the biggest criticism that I saw people having with the brand new one. It's a grey dull tall skyscraper, which I get, it fits more with the aesthetic for a LEGO City display, but a tan recoloring just has so much extra personality there, it fits more in line with a comic book aesthetic. You have two opening doors down below, nothing too exciting going on here though, red handles and keeping to theming with the blue glass. Above we have some webbing which indicates the web head has been here. This classic web here is intended to be moved around and displayed any way you'd like. You've also got that web line there for some extra swinging. Located behind the building is this red switch, and knocking it pushes out the entire wall piece. It's going to sometimes get caught up in the build there, which I think is due to age, but otherwise a very fun feature. And this wall piece here allows us to get a better look at the sticker details, which features a strange design representing windows, I suppose. And then right above here we have some TVs broadcasting Jonah Jameson, who's yelling about Spider-Man. I love the design there, it's 7 individual stickers placed on bricks. One thing I'll say here is that the design for Jonah in this screen is better than the actual minifigure that we get in the set. If I remove that plate there, you get a quick glimpse at how this thing is built. The newer set would actually do the same idea but featured a different design, it's just one big screen instead, but the idea is still there. Then this sign above here again reads DBC, which appears to stand for Daily Bugle Connections, something that directly connects this set here to being based on the Disney XD TV show. Before taking a look at the roof and the play features, which we can see here, we need to cover the fire escape there, which is a very simple build, but a great explanation for how your figures have access to these interiors. It's a building in New York City, so of course it has a fire escape. Solid chunks there added by some Technic pegs to the side of the wall. You've got a gate piece there and a ladder for both, very cool additions that give our figures access to those doors. Now at the back here we can make out 3 different switches, and all of them are just like the one that pushed out the wall from earlier. First the middle one here, which does destroy that sign. It's very cool, something that's always fun in playsets like this. That's 2 different destruction gimmicks here so far. We then also have a trapdoor, which is our roof access. It's an easy way for Spider-Man to leap inside. And then the last one here is when Spidey can start his swing. You push this to give him a little bit of confidence to begin that swing, and I like to use the web and connect him to something here so that he can actually get a swing when I knock him down. Of course the set is a little dated, so sometimes the pressure doesn't work as well as I'd hope. I would love to see some swinging features in other modern sets. Now for the interior space, it's very simple stuff, a little too simple. This here is the lobby and we've got just a plant and nothing else. I guess there's no real need for a receptionist desk since there's no additional minifigure here, but it's pretty nuts to release a set like this to me. The work office is interesting, there's enough room here for 1 employee only, really? You've got like a drawing board there with Spider-Man's images all over the place and some kind of a mock-up for an article about Spider-Man's identity. And then off to the side you have a safe there that feature no contents on the inside, and a classic LEGO paper has been included which they've reused in tons of sets. The LEGO set actually does showcase in images that this safe is what Dr. Doom is after, so you can break down the wall there for better access to the safe. But again though, there's nothing inside, so I don't know why he wants it. This top floor then is, I presume, Jonah Jameson's office, and it's a very easy build too. A desk, a chair, a computer, and a lamp. And that wraps up the build. I think it is dated, but it's also very nostalgic. It does enough for me here, but the interior space is severely lacking even for the time, I think. Now the minifigures are very interesting. They're primarily built out of characters that you wouldn't necessarily associate with Spider-Man, which is the reason why I think this is still so high in the aftermarket space. 4 of these figures remained exclusive to the set. You probably guessed it, only Spider-Man is a repeat. And I'm breaking my tradition here and I'm going straight to Doom, since this is the reason why I'm here today talking about the set. We never had the Fantastic Four in LEGO sets until 2025. Amazingly, Dr. Doom here predated a lot of beloved characters in LEGO. That's absolutely insane if you ask me. This figure is really solid too though. He features the classic character design with the green cape and the hood, and he uses some green cloaks there with the grey suit and mask. We do see some printing on the back of his torso, but no printing for the back of his head. This won't come off on camera, but in person, his head feels almost kind of bootleggy. I believe it's real, but I do have a couple of sets from this 2013 period that do feel this way to me. General Zod from the Man of Steel sets also seem to have this issue. Now the big problem with Doom is that even to this very day, he has never appeared in any other LEGO Marvel sets. Some rights issues I think is what ultimately led to characters like this guy and the X-Men just disappearing from all LEGO releases. It's looking like the next Dr. Doom figure we'll ever get is from the upcoming Avengers Doomsday releases. Doom's value right now in the aftermarket space is a staggering $134 NZD in new condition, or $99 NZD as just a second-hand figure, close to the price that I paid for the complete set. So now we get to Spider-Man. This is, I think, maybe the 4th or 5th time that I'm covering him on the channel. This guy did release in a lot of sets, so you have to understand. Eventually, there's nothing that I can say, so I will say this. The fact that this set doesn't feature anything to do with Peter Parker is a little ridiculous to me, and a severely missed opportunity. There are more movie-based sets that feature Peter inclusions than anything comics related. LEGO do tend to skip the Peter inclusions for these sets, and it's always been something really bizarre to me. In the upcoming Peter Parker apartment set, we don't have Peter Parker, you just have Spider-Man. We should have Peter in these kinds of displays, not just Spider-Man. His current value in the aftermarket space is between $2.70 to $7 NZD, and that's neat because he's actually increased by about 50 cents here since the last LEGO Spider-Man review that we looked at. Then it gets really interesting. This here is Nova, who has yet to have a real appearance in the MCU movies. This is why he remains exclusive here to the set. In the show, Spider-Man teams up with a bunch of heroes, and Nova being one of them is why he's appearing with a minifigure here. A very cool figure as well, especially molded helmet that I believe has only ever been used for him. Crazy to see. Simple cartoon-like printing for the torso here and a double-sided expression of anger in order to achieve one's goals. If I remove that helmet there, we can see the printing underneath, which shows some white eyes wearing some type of a goggles mask, and leveled to where the eyes normally are on minifigs. So furthermore, it's proof that the Batman white stripe thing is a very weird decision for LEGO to be making. Nova's current value right now in the aftermarket space is anywhere between $18 NZD to $40 NZD, depending on the condition of that figure. And then next up is Beetle, the secondary antagonist of the set. My only frame of reference with this guy is that his boss battle in the Ultimate Spider-Man game is ultimately where I ended my playthrough all those years ago, something that I do need to get back into and actually finish. I always thought this guy was like a C-tier villain that you could throw into stories just so that Spider-Man is taking down someone that's a named character before the real big bad guy at the end. So in this case, Beetle here is teaming up with Dr. Doom. Beetle here is using the old reddish brown plastic, which means that they are currently stuck in this position, and I mean it, seriously, if I try to move that arm anymore, that thing is going to break. So it's a really bad minifigure from that objective point of view. The toy's going to break due to some poor plastic from the company. Beetle's current value is between $11 to $20 NZD, so I guess if I break it, I can replace it. A really cool wings piece that I don't think's been used in other sets, could be wrong on that though, otherwise Beetle doesn't really have that much going for them. And then here we have Jonah Jameson, and I've always been really salty about this minifig. The second-hand seller I bought the set from didn't tell me about the condition of this figure, and it's terrible. Jonah there features a permanent marker streak on his torso, both at the top and at the bottom. He also features some cracks there in his torso. Insane stuff, and to not mention any of this to me just blew my mind at the time. Ignoring all of that though, Jonah Jameson does feature a blue exclusive torso print, so I couldn't even try to replace it really. A double-sided expression there which shows both sides of anger no matter which one you choose. His current value right now is between $9 to $16 NZD. The set here gives us the instructions in the form of 3 booklets, which feels excessive to me. Booklet 1 there builds the first floor of the building, and that's about it. Some nice blue theming inside for all of them. Booklet 2 there finishes the main building, and I have to wonder why they split them up like this. The back then shows the building complete and this cool image of the main features. We then have the inventory list and some LEGO Club magazine stuff, and that wraps up the main build there. And then the last booklet here is the jet for Dr. Doom, which makes more sense to be separate, but interesting that it's the final booklet. Also, the theming shows the characters in the corner there, which I hadn't really fully noticed until now. Then at the back of this tiny booklet, you've got an image of the set on full display. This picture's really cool and it shows off the interior details. Then every superhero set back in the day featured a comic book that detailed an original story that featured all of the sets available on shelves at the time. At the back here we have a poster of the minifigures, which LEGO have separated into 2012 releases and the 2013 Spider-Man releases, Spider-Man actually appearing on both sides there. Overall, this set has always been a personal favourite of mine. It's a very hard thing to compare a set like this to the eventual adult-scaled remake that we all know and love, but I also love having playset-sized releases that feature a more affordable or achievable price point for the consumer. And also, it is still absolutely insane to me that Dr. Doom is included in this set and only this set. I imagine his value is also going to continue to grow all the way up until we start getting some brand new Dr. Doom minifigures courtesy of whatever the hell is going on right now with Downey Jr and Co. It also just felt right building this set with the new exciting releases, so all in all, I'm feeling pretty good with this one. If you enjoyed this look at a LEGO Spider-Man release, liking this video here and subscribing to the channel does help to support more videos like this one in the future. Thanks for watching everyone, ka kite anō, take care, see you all next time.